Alright, what's up yins guys? Time for another video. I'm gonna go ahead and do this video because this reminds me, gives me an excuse, if you will, about a joke that I always be talking about, or cracking this joke, you know. Well, actually, I was cracking this joke to my partner, and I've made jokes like this for years about cereal, how ridiculous claims people make. Anyway, I was looking at YouTube videos talking about how some of these cereals, and I'm not even going to say that I didn't eat Lucky Charms or any kind of shit before. I said there's nothing wrong with if you ate Lucky Charms or anything else. I have eaten them before. I made a video joke about Lucky Charms, kind of like a joking like troll video, just to be silly. Don't get me wrong, but alright, I was looking at a recent video about this dude with longer hair than me and less bald too and less gray. I look at a lot of his videos on stuff, bad with the names, but I've seen his video and then other videos about cereals and stuff. And the point I'm making here, with jokes put aside, not like I'm saying there's anything wrong with eating Lucky Charms or anything, or something on a box that we ate as kids, or anything like that. Not like that per se, but the claims, though, that they have all these different vitamins, you know, whether it was anything like Kellogg's cereals, we've all eaten them before. But we got older, we know that they be lying. They don't have all the vitamins in there. I mean, some of the stuff maybe has different stuff in, like wheat or whatever, and yeah, you got to wonder what they're putting in the sweet cereals. I understand that. Not saying I never ate them before, but here's another thing. If you got this far in this video, getting to the point where one of my jokes come in. I was born in '72. I'm like 50 years now. I remember commercials back in the '80s. You know, the Kellogg cereals, all these different vitamins in there. Whether it's the Frog, the Kellogg Sugar Smacks, or I don't know, Fruity Pebbles, or different kind of stuff like that. But okay, I don't know if you guys remember this. Anybody my age or maybe a little younger remember this? Late '70s and mid-early '80s. A Kellogg cereal called Total cereal. I think it's still around on the shelves now. But it was a Kellogg's product, and Special K was around forever too. But a cereal named Total. You remember back in the 1980s, remember as a kid, you know, as a kid you'll fall for something for a while. You know, you maybe, you know, you'll eat the sweet cereals with the cartoon characters on there as a kid or whatever, right? But then maybe you want to, as a younger kid, just like Popeye and the spinach, get strong. You believe the commercial in Total. I'm trying not to laugh. I don't know if you guys remember this. Total cereal, and it was written on a box that you'd pull off the shelf, right? 100% of all this whole list of vitamins like this long, right? Which I've criticized energy drinks, vitamins you never heard of, and you're taking their word for it, right? But what I'm getting at, without me trying not to laugh, because I'm looking back on this. Total cereal named Total, 100% of all these vitamins, and you're looking back on it laughing. Maybe as a kid you fell for it, like, you know, like the Popeye and the spinach thing. And I like spinach, by the way. I mean, anybody who believes, you know, ate spinach, you know, you maybe get strong like Popeye, you'd fall for it for a while. But then Total cereal, I mean, even as a kid, you know, even when you believed, like, maybe the Popeye thing, the cartoon, because you liked the Popeye cartoon, you maybe fell for it for maybe a few seconds, but then you ate the cereal, man, you didn't get any stronger or whatever. But anyway, the joke that I have about it now, where I joke about it now, would be like, if they're saying that, I'm like, even when I was younger, right? I'm like, oh, if Total really had all these vitamins, can you imagine that? You can down a whole box of Total, and man, you should be able to just kick damn near anybody's ass, right? Or if you're like, instead of having road rage, somebody won't get the hell out of your way in the car, you theoretically, if you down a whole box of Total for breakfast in the morning, you'd be able to just get right out of the car, don't argue with anybody, just take the car, shove it out the way, like real easily, right? And then get back in your car, drive away. You know what I mean? Or theoretically, you might be able to like beat up several MMA fighters all at the same time. Yeah, come on, let's do it. Yeah, and maybe throw Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather in there. Yeah, come on, let's do it, man. I ate a whole box of Total, man. I'd kick anybody's ass. Yeah. Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I mean, yeah, let's have a little wrestling match. Man, I ate Total, man. I could kick Arnold Schwarzenegger's ass. Come on, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll put your arm up here. Let's arm wrestle. I mean, I don't know. That could be something that maybe you guys can dig up and do a parody YouTube video about. I can picture that. You get maybe one of your friends that's kind of pretty built, lift some weights. Somebody you know goes to a gym, right? And then get the smallest person you know, maybe somebody's kid, little boy or girl, right? Or even just maybe a smaller person, maybe girlfriend or something that's like skinnier or smaller, right? And do a parody, right? And they have them putting the bigger guy in an armbar or a finger lock and have them go and tapping out on the ground. You know what I mean? Do something. I mean, this would be like a good parody YouTube video. Get a couple actors, you get the idea. Larger person, maybe get a smaller person or a kid. Man, a kid ate Total, man. Putting them in a finger lock or armbar. Me stomach hurt me. I mean, yeah. If really the cereal called Total really had 100% of all the vitamins, man, imagine what you can do, man. I'll save you the rest of the jokes, but yeah, if you want to add to that, man, yeah. But anyway, I'm just trying to say how I'm just a funny exaggeration, a joke. I mean, if Total really had 100% of those vitamins, I'm just giving you something that when people talked about these other cereals on like YouTube and stuff like that, the sweet cereals claiming to have the vitamins. I'm just telling you this as a fact from memory and making jokes about it. With the sweet cereals put aside, we know about that. You got this far in this video, I want to know if any of you guys remember that as a kid, like the Total cereal. I know a lot of you guys my age probably remember that shit, right? There was also, in the back of my head too, an old Frank Zappa song. The lyrics went, "I'm a moron and this is my wife frosting a cake with a paper knife." Anybody my age, maybe a little younger, a little older, probably remember that too. That Frank Zappa was parodying a funny commercial about really shitty and runny cake frosting, or if you prefer, call it sugar paste that you put over your grandma's or your kid's birthday cake, right? And there was a commercial. I don't know if you can, I should look it up on YouTube if anybody actually got that video somehow, put it on YouTube. There really was a real commercial. Ought to go find it. You can find nostalgic commercials. There really was a commercial that treated people like they were stupid, or maybe somebody's dipshitted wife or whatever. Sell somebody cheap frosting, that's what shit. Frank Zappa. Yeah, Mr. Frank Zappa was parodying that commercial in the part of his lyric anyway. I think there was another movie I remember as a kid, talking in parentheses too, that becomes a metaphor and a joke. An old movie when Disney not only made cartoons when I was a kid, they made old movies with real people playing them, not just cartoons, like Herbie the Love Bug and all that. But there was I ought to look this up on YouTube, a movie called The Strongest Man in the World. Yeah, it was called The Strongest Man in the World, and there was cereal involved in this movie, a formula that made somebody like real strong, and somehow there was propaganda in the comedy movie that the cereal made people strong, but it actually was this formula. There was some reason. You'd have to dig up the old movie if you ever watched old movies for nostalgic purposes, right? If you want to watch old movies. Talking in parentheses how Disney was really fucked up now compared to, I don't know, when we were small kids. We didn't have all that shit going on. We didn't know about all this shit, no internet. But anyway, I had that vague memories of that old Disney movie playing in my head called The Strongest Man in the World, which almost gets you curious. You almost want to just find that movie somewhere and watch it one time, because the details, just the fact that I'm talking about the details being a little fuzzy. The reason why I'm telling you is telling you this. It's kind of, even as vague as it is, it's metaphorically speaking, talking about cereal and talking about my weird joke about a cereal, and matter of fact, total cereal that I'm sarcastically saying about all the vitamins, you know what I'm saying? Maybe a little too much information for all you guys, but maybe there's some nostalgia. Anybody around my age that have remembers stupid commercials and maybe a few comedy movies back in the day, you know what I mean? Uh, anyway, that's why I made this video, just to spout out some silly shit like that. Some nostalgic memories, goofy ass commercials, you know what I'm saying?